for Mohawk Trail School District, 8 districts, 8 towns, Mohawk Trail, Alma update and sustainability work discussion.
Thank you.
That'd be you.
Good
That'd
evening.
be me. Evening.
There are some people, there is a person on Zoom.
Okay. Awesome. So thank you for having us. You are actually our last town that we are visiting in this round. We've been out to talk to all of the select boards, and in some cases, finance committees as well, to give you an update of where we are in the work with 2AT. We had short work over the summer as people went on vacation and we weren't in school, but as we've come back, we are beginning our phase 3 with Burke 12 as our consultant again. We've been speaking with communities, and a couple of things have come forward that we are pursuing more information about that Martha will get into in a little bit. But one thing that's come from our conversations with the select boards and finance folks in particular is building use. So if school buildings are decommissioned, what would towns be likely to do with them? What might the process be? And Mohawk Trail is never anything simple. We have multiple ways that schools are organized. Obviously, you are Sanderson with Ashfield, Buckland and Shelburne for BSE, Coleraine now and Heath for Coleraine Central. So there's a lot of different ways that towns are thinking about what to do with schools if they were to be decommissioned. Because it's not something that you want to wait until we've actually
it happens.
school. Mark's going to talk a lot more about that. The other thing that we are hearing an awful lot is transportation, and the work that we're doing in transportation is ongoing to think about how to make transportation viable for a single campus. And then the third thing that has just recently come up is preschool. So really taking a look at how we offer preschool and what we can offer in a consolidated campus. So just to back up my train a little bit, is a reminder that the committee, the working group, the 2D8T working group has put forward an aspirational goal of having all children pre-K through 12 at the Mohawk Trail campus. That would require some sort of building, and we're working with MSBA and a statement of interest, we should know in December, pretty soon.
Excuse me, you said in December?
Yes,
December
whether we're
12th.
accepted. Then there's like, you're gonna get into that. I'll leave that under for you. But we are working toward that goal, knowing that there are a lot of questions and thoughts that folks have about that. And so we continue to come out into the communities to answer questions, but also get feedback on the work that we're doing. So I think that's my intro.
So I think I sent around the plan of action just in case you haven't seen it. You probably know kind of what the sort of transition steps are. But right now, as Cheryl said, we're focused on additional research and analysis, especially in the areas that we heard from the community or of particular concern. Pre-K, transportation, and building reuse being the primary among, and also impact on the communities when a school closes. Sure, go ahead.
Are you gonna stagger the hours
For
starting, or, you know, for when pre-K or kindergarten or elementary or middle school or?
So we are not far enough down the road, however.
Because I think that makes a difference in some of
Yeah.
those.
It does.
Yeah.
We're modeling right now in transportation, each pupil's ride, length. And then comparing that to a single tier where children would be picked up at the same time, on a single tier, to Mohawk Trail, which would change start time. It would actually benefit our middle school and high school students who research shows really should be coming to school later than 7:30.
Familiar with that research.
Yeah, and if you walk through the halls, it's very, very visible when children wake up, when our young teenagers wake up, it's more like 9 o'clock. But it would be a single tier if that's doable, right? So a lot is, can we get the ride lengths, to a length that is feasible for a first grader, a kindergartner in one run, in one tier. And we don't know the answer to that yet, but it's
what stops.
how many stops, and a lot of it too is projection, like, we have families that have recently moved into Charlemont that have extended a few of the bus rides because bus haven't had to go there for 10 years, but now there are children in those homes, so it is a bit of a projection, we're going to find out if a single tier run is feasible.
One other thought, just if you're gonna be picking them up, are you modeling picking them up at their homes or on their street?
1 mile from the bus stop is
No more than 1 mile.
no more than 1 mile.
Right, and we're looking at,
What if you had a parent drop-off place in town and you picked up all the kids same time in the town?
So that is a solution that when we're talking about how do we get some of our outliers, some of the stops that really extend the run, if we can work with some of our families to do some of that kind of thinking, and that kind of.
I'm thinking for the whole town,
Yeah.
because, you know, it would just be a lot easier if you're gonna have to bus your child, you can take your child, you can be with your child. Probably at the town office or the town hall or someplace like that where there's a warm place to wait. They're not standing out in the cold in the winter or in the dark or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds makes it tough.
Well,
That's what makes it tough. When I went to Smith Vulcan with an Ashfield, we all had to go to the store.
Yeah.
We all got picked up at the store.
yeah,
We all had to walk to the store, snow and rain or whatever. But-
well, or your parents would drive there and drop you off, you're
Right.
a preschooler.
I
Well,
think we have to negotiate with Desi as well, because the minute that one of the family's car breaks down, or they get sick and they can't bring the child, and they have no way to get there, we're responsible for getting the kid to school, so.
right,
We have to work with Desi to get some kind of flexibility on their requirement of that. Because that's one of the issues. I mean, another option is
As a
to use,
regional,
as a regional, yeah, we have to do that. If, maybe we're using smaller feeder buses or
Right.
vans or something.
we used to do that. too.
Yeah, the biggest problem is drivers, right?
Oh, yeah,
We are having a terrible time finding drivers even for our athletics.
anything, any employment.
Anything.
Yep.
So, you know, we're trying to figure out what's the most cost-effective way, what can we do with Desi allowing us to do, and what's reasonable for, especially for young kids.
Say what's time effective for the students should be the first issue.
Right. Absolutely.
Since the towns are having to pay for it anyway, right?
Well,
For your assessment, yes.
you know, one of the things that we've really put some thought into is, yes, there can be significant savings. And are there ways for us to reinvest some of those savings to make the educational program, more expansive, more
Mhm.
inclusive, but also more responsive to what our communities need? So for example, 45 of our 80 preschool students are coming 5 full days. So that's a significant number of students that for pre-K are coming 5 full days.
And how many hours do they usually go to school?
We have, 3, students can come in the morning for 3 hours for free. All of our students can do that.
Mhm.
3 mornings free. But like I said, 45 of the 85 students we have are using preschool as part of their solution for childcare.
Do you have,
which is
do you have
completely
an
understandable.
for those students, do you have an after-school program?
So my point being, if we take some of the savings and invest that in before school and after school, then we may help parents solve some of their childcare in addition to us being able to educate our youngest children. But then also that could influence their transportation decision, because if they can drop a student off in the morning for some before school care and then all day in school and then after school care, then we might be able to alleviate some of the transportation needs.
You can't actually model that until you have a survey from individual.
Exactly, and so
Because
that's all
if
part
you
of
have
it. Yep.
an upperclassman kid and that can drive, they can bring them in, you know,
Absolutely.
Right,
it's en route to work.
yeah, and we don't provide pre-K transportation, kindergarten. Kindergarten is slow, so we have to like worry about and make sure that the right
Is
is.
pre-K just a single year or do you have?
We have two years,
It was a pre-K?
3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. 4-year-olds get more free time than 3-year-olds do. But yeah, I mean, you know, part of it is we have all these different structures that, and a lot of them aren't used very much, so why don't we figure out what people really need to have, build a program that meets those needs and then go from there.
In a single tier bus situation, granted, the day after kids get their license, they're off the bus
Yeah,
with their sibs.
Yeah.
But would kindergartners through 12th graders be on the same bus?
Yes.
they would, and, you know, that's why we have to think about things like a bus monitor, at least for the first few years, people are comfortable that. The problem isn't the seniors and the older kids, it's the sixth graders who went on the bus.
Careful. My kids.
Fifth grade.
We've had some problems with that bus from Sanderson.
Yeah, no, I've
Yeah.
heard
They've
that.
been teaching at school, they line up their chairs and they teach them bus etiquette because there's been some issues.
Yeah,
Yes.
so anyway, yeah,
I'm so glad.
but that's a big part of what we're doing at the moment. We're also looking really hard at the educational visioning, what do folks want to have in their new district school? Because part of what makes this attractive to people is that you get a school that has a vibrant educational program, because part of what we're seeing now is with a very small school, you can't have a vibrant music program or, you know, some of the other activities, sports, you know, after school sports, after school programming. You know, BSE has a band of 70 kids and Sanderson has a band of 5. So,
I just think the only problem is the transportation, is the distance and the amount of time spent getting there and coming home.
and that people who don't live in Plainfield that were already don't have school are like, you're not, you know, I'm worried about closing my school. It's been our town center for 100 years. And
There's that.
property values are gonna go down and nobody's gonna wanna live here. Well, 4 of our towns right now don't really have a school in their town, if you include Butler, because of its shelter. But you don't have a school, Holly doesn't have a school, Heath doesn't have a school. They're, you know,
Move to a bigger town.
you're doing great. So, but that's the argument, that's the argument that we, you know, the biggest argument that we face, and we always say to that, we're not in the business of closing schools, we're in the business of trying to provide the best possible education for all kids. That doesn't bankrupt our town, so if you can tell me how I can
Well, you're
keep
pretty
all of.
close to that at home.
Yeah, I know. Can you tell me how we can keep all these schools open at a price our towns can afford? I'm all for it. We've been doing this for 15 years. Every 5 years, we say, okay, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? And nobody's come up with an answer that doesn't involve
It's a
something.
Groundhog Day that only comes around every 5 years.
Yeah, it's about that. So, I mean, the upshot of all this will be drafting a new regional agreement. Combine the two, hopefully, we'll combine the two districts, and spell out exactly how all the transition will work. The biggest immediate date is the date when the MSBA will tell us whether we are accepted into their pipeline.
The who?
The Mass School Building Authority,
Oh,
we've put in a statement of interest saying we need to construct or renovate space at Mohawk Trail for younger grades, because the classrooms that they're currently there don't accommodate bathrooms.
Little kids, yeah.
Little kids, they don't have bathrooms in the pre-K or kindergarten or whatever. And they're not.
It's this
I know, it's very cute, but
Playgrounds.
playgrounds, lots of things.
Yeah,
So we have to wait and see what they say. And we've been in their pipeline, they've come out to see us. We don't know whether to be optimistic or pessimistic about whether we're gonna, but that's a major thing, because if they decide not to, then we kind of are on hold a little bit for some of this maybe.
I would like
Is
to,
this a brand new thing in the state? Has no one else,
No,
no one else is,
I mean, for closing schools,
or,
consolidating
For
all
consolid-
grades into one
excuse me,
facility.
for putting it all together? I know we're the biggest district.
there are districts in our area that
Mile-wise.
have done that. Gateway, which is 200 square miles, and 7 or 8 towns has done it. They have one really outlier elementary school. But everything else is on the single campus. We want to take people to places on field trips, to places where this is done. Talk to the administrators, the faculty, and the parents there to have, you know, help them have our group understand how it works and, you know, what the problems are or what the opportunities are. So that's part of the plan too, is to try and get, we have a couple places we want to go to, Gateway being one. Holbrook, which is farther away, but apparently is really.
Where is that?
It's, it's kind of 495-ish.
Hmm.
So we're trying to organize those as well. But as I say, if the we have, a big thing is the MSBA. If they tell us we're in, then we're off and running. If they say we're not, we have to reapply for next year, then we have to figure out what's the plan, because we don't have time to kind of wait forever for them either. So that'll be that'll be another decision for all of us.
And you said that you're gonna be rewriting the regional agreement?
Yes,
I think it would be an excellent time to offer towns who want to the option to opt out. I think that's something I've heard people talk about.
and then they have to have a plan for their kids, right?
I don't know, send them to private school, homeschool them, I don't know what,
They have to have a plan, and it's not send them to private school unless the town's gonna pay for the private school.
I don't know,
you can't by law. You can't use public funds for private school
but
tuition.
I just know that, well, maybe not opt out, but don't make it quite as painful as it is.
Well, how you assess operating in capital is something that can get looked at. I'm trying to organize a meeting of town officials to get together among themselves to talk about some of these issues, building reuse, regional agreement. Are there things you want to change? Because now's your chance,
Mhm.
absolutely. And that, I'm looking for December 10th or 11th. I think there's a poll that went.
It wouldn't be me, I will talk to the finance committee, because I think they're the ones who really care about it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we all care about it because we're not happy with the percentage of your budgets that we account for, any
Yeah.
more than you are. But we're trying not to get into the position where we start cutting programming and staff in order to. keep
No,
things-
I
and then-
understand it, I think
That's a cycle, and then it gets worse and
an
worse.
admirable job.
And some of it is administrative stuff too, you know, that costs a lot of money.
It costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to run a small school. It costs about 30%, 25 to 30% more to run a school of under 1,000 than it does to run a school of 1,300.
Wow.
And that's because a teacher can have a class of 25 or 5, it doesn't matter. You got the teacher, you got the building, you got
Yeah.
the.
Your fixed costs are
you got
pretty,
everything. Your
fixed costs are very high.
And the school
Yeah.
funding formula doesn't account for that one bit.
But I don't know if this is, just hearsay, but like if Sanderson closed,
Mhm.
Mayor of Ashfield wants to use it as town offices. They would have to buy Plainfield out of it.
Yeah, you guys need to, that's the kind of discussion that needs to happen between.
Well,
you and
or-
Because we split it or whatever.
Right.
Or we could have shared town offices.
Something like that, but
Yeah.
we wanna keep our town offices in Plainfield.
Right.
Because they're so lovely.
Yeah.
That's the discussion
That we're encouraging towns to have with their co-town, if that's the right word. Because you wanna have those now, you don't wait. Cause you guys have been putting money into capital for Sanderson.
Oh, yeah,
And so
I mean, it's a good
Yeah.
school.
it is, it's a great school. We've just done, one of the other things we're doing now is going around looking at all the schools. Get a sense of capital needs right now for the next 3 to 5, 7 years, because those are gonna have to be paid for and so the towns can have a decision about whether you wanna pay that, or you wanna put that money into a different facility.
Right.
So, but yeah, the reuse of the buildings is a big issue that you guys should be discussing with that.
With that,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, for sure. Trying to think what other things, if we get into the pipeline, we hope to have a regional agreement draft by early winter. And then we would be.
Fine early winter, I think
I
we're
would
there.
think January, but I know, yeah. I'd say January, like, or kind of at the latest, we hope to have it, and then we begin to talk about that with everybody. With the idea of, if you get into the MSBA pipeline, you have what they call eligibility, so for 270 days, they look at they look at what you're doing, what you wanna do, you know, what's your capacity for financing it, all kinds of things. And at that point, if they say, they'll put you into what they call feasibility at the end of the 270 days, which is somewhere in the fall of 26. At that point is when we'd like to have the regional agreement done. We would then vote money for the feasibility study, which they will reimburse for the same rate that they would reimburse for the building. So if it's $1 million and we're at a 70% reimbursement rate, maybe it's $300,000 to be divided among the 8 towns. There are also other ways you can get money to help do that. So that vote, the regional agreement vote, we're hoping be done at the same time. In what we hope would be a special town meeting, because we don't think this is a topic for an annual town meeting, not only the timing, but the amount of time that people are gonna wanna discuss it.
I think it is an annual town meeting. I think
Yeah.
there are enough people in town that want to know about it. And we've gotten complaints that we do too many special town meetings. Because not everybody shows up. not
Yeah, I just
everybody
worry
pays
that it makes your town meeting 7 hours long. Maybe people would rather do that, but.
Well, if, maybe you do it in 2 phases. You do the annual town meeting and then you do the annual town meeting to discuss the school issues on a different day, which could be later, because I know that our town
Yeah.
meeting is early for you guys budgetarily anyway. But you could carve it out and have it a continued annual town meeting. But I am getting very sensitive to holding special town meetings for one-off purposes. And it passes somebody by,
Yeah,
and then we take it in the neck for it.
yeah,
And I don't blame them.
yeah, no, I understand that, and we get the, well, nobody comes to a special town meeting, and that.
And you have to have a quorum. We have to have,
No,
we have to
but
have 15
in
for
Blackland, we've had 2 special town meetings for single-purpose things, and they have been the best attended town meetings we've had. One was for the swimming pool, we had like 350 people.
Wow.
Do that. One was for putting an elevator on Josh Simpson's building at the, what do they call it?
Splash out there.
Yeah, down across from the railroad tracks, he needed to put an elevator in, and he had to get the special town meeting vote. People flew into that town meeting to vote on that.
We've
So,
had pretty good attendance the past year. for
We have,
special
if you
town
have-
it's nothing close to what it is for annual
but
town.
if you have an
It
issue
would
that
be
people
for
care
them.
about.
It would be for them.
I'm just not section that you guys don't have.
Well, for me, it's, the information's out there, whether
Right.
people wanna come and take part in it, that's different,
Whatever.
Well, that's what you guys decided, that would be our preference, just in terms of timing, we will get them all kind of done at about the same time. Let's see, also, we would encourage you all to have your own community engagement sessions. There will be a session at Sanderson on Thursday. Did the wrong date. What did I just?
Oh, it's December 3rd at 6:30.
December 3rd.
December 3rd at 6:30.
6:30.
And there will definitely be more coming.
Absolutely,
I've been most here, presentations and stuff.
thank you.
It's-
But we encourage you to have your own, in your own town, to have your own citizens talk among themselves. They don't need, they don't need us.
Well, they want answers to questions.
Yeah, they want
Yeah.
to, happy to come, but.
The presentation you put on in Ashfield,
Yep,
at the site board, that was very good.
oh, good, I didn't know you were there.
Yeah, I was sitting in the pew.
I was too bad.
Sanderson is December third.
Yeah,
And they're all at 6:30.
they're all 6:30 to 7:45. There'll be a brief presentation and then it's question and answer. So,
And December third is a Wednesday.
good, okay. December 3rd is a Wednesday, then full rain must be the second, which is
What time's that
6:30 at Sanderson.
And Coleraine is December fourth
December
at
4th.
6:30.
There we go, Thursday. That's why
I'm just looking at the email that Judy Rush sent us.
Good,
yeah.
good.
Yeah. So,
And Hollamont is November 19th,
yep, BSC is the 18th.
and Buckland is the 18th, and MTRS is the 20th.
Right. So they're the week before, the week after Thanksgiving. Yeah,
And we won't have MSPA decision yet. So that meeting really is to bring, people up to speed with where we are, what we're, the questions that we are continuing to find more answers to. And then we'll be coming out, pretty, I think, shortly after we hear from the SOI.
When do you expect to hear from them?
December 12th.
Oh, okay.
So then if it's no, then we have to go back to the steering committee and say, okay, what's
What's our plan B?
what's our plan to move forward more slowly? Because we can't probably do this without their help. We've told.
And the next SOI would be due in March.
Right.
So there's really not that much time. It's more, what kind of revisions to the SOI need to
You
do.
lost me at SOI.
Statement of interest.
Thank you.
Sorry, that's what that's our.
Try so hard not to do that.
Okay.
Right, so it's a pretty quick turnaround, but then it's another waiting game to find if we're in or not.
Yeah.
But, there are a lot of things that we can continue to work on in that interim time. Probably give you less of a heart attack on the regional agreement, trying to get that done. But the things around answering the questions around transportation, pre-K, building reusage, all of those things, just spend a little more time searching.
Okay,
Okay, so we'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. Meetings.
For making the trip out here on this cold and wintry day.
Airplane's still.
Cold out there.
Oh, it's colder this morning.
Oh,
Welcome to Plainfield.
This wind.
It's a little,
It's not just windy on it, it's Coast Mountain, I'll tell you right now.
Because we're the highest point in Hampshire County.
Yeah, it's windy. And if you have any questions, please, you were gonna say that, just send them, fax,
Yeah.
call, email, whatever.
If you decide to have a meeting on your own and you would like somebody to be there, then let us know.
Well, if we do, then we would.
Okay.
Because you guys,
yeah,
would know all of
she
you.
made it up.
Yeah. Thank you for that. It would be interesting.
Okay, hold on, Martha.
Stay warm.
Yes,
Thank you.
hope you guys are meant to be here that one. Good. Bye, thank you.
Next on the list.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
See you. Good to see you. Good to see you, Michael.
Take care.
Take care, Mark.
Thank you.
Highway Department discussion of equipment needing to be auctioned. I don't see Mark, but I got a list here. The 3-point flail mower, hydraulic hammer, an F-350 flatbed pickup, and a Chevy flatbed truck with plow, wing sander. So the Chevy flat dump we talked about last springtime, that we're gonna auction it, but there's gonna be a reserve on it, so if it doesn't meet that, we keep it and try again, because the truck is useless for the department,
It's useless for the department, but it still has a lot of life.
and it has value to it. The flail mower, I think it was $2,000 or something, the hammer it's too big for our excavator. So we want to sell it, get something that works for it.
Fits.
The F-350 Walt bought from Town of Covington, it needs a transmission, it's not worth fixing, so we get some money back and check the fund when it sells. So,
You have to vote on this?
oh yeah, I think so. Just,
I move that we accept the list of equipment that the highway department is proposing that we sell. And allow them to handle the process of selling it.
Second.
All in favor? Select board to discuss the Cohen nominee trust want to sell property to the Audubon Society and whether or not the town to approve the sale. I don't think we approve it, we have an option to buy it, but I don't think we'll buy it.
We have the first right, is it in 61 right now?
Yes.
And that's why we have
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we have the right, first right of
refusal for 61 property.
And I saw Donna this evening, and she gave me that.
Yeah. So this is to inform you that the said select board have voted not to exercise said option. So,
Yeah, we've never actually been,
you know,
the whole time I've been involved in town stuff, we haven't exercised that option. Because we don't have cash.
right. A letter from Bonnie Phillips resigning as the Vocational Education Advisory Committee representative.
Is there more than one copy of this, Shannon, or just one?
There's just one, but I can, it's,
No, I don't need more town paper in my house. It looks like I have a paper tornado there already,
And we accept Bonnie Phillips' resignation.
with regret.
and appreciation for her service. I think there ought to be a town bylaw that says if you're resigning from a committee before your appointment period is expired, it's your responsibility to find a person. Because now we have to find somebody.
Yeah, the next thing is letter from Vocational Education Advisory Committee requesting the appointment of a new representative. We're gonna work on that.
Yeah, no action taken.
Well, how do we go about doing that? How can we,
Somebody beats up Ruth.
how can we make it known throughout the town that that's needed?
And I apologize on the website.
Put it on the website, we can put it in everything Plainfield, we can take out an ad, but we don't have to pay, because usually when we ask for an ad, the Plainfield Post does it as a public service.
So, great, who's gonna do that? How does that happen?
It should be the clerk. That's what I'm saying, it's not us. I mean, I'm sick of doing the work of people in the town offices.
Shannon can leave, no, I'm just asking.
I'll add it, I
Or I'll tell him when I see her too, so,
can also,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I can also email with that.
Okay, right.
And I'm happy to post it on the website, just send me the content.
Okay. And this is from treasurer.Ufasi of invoice. $850.
For what? Who's possible?
Financial advisory fees for. This money dated 11/25/2024.
I think that was the invoice that then Polly had said.
All on special town meeting.
Well, it can't be on the special town meeting now,
Yeah,
so it's gonna have to be the next one.
Okay.
Is it from last year?
Yes.
Yeah, we cannot put it into this year, the one that is tomorrow night.
yeah,
Because it wasn't on, there's no warrant written, so tell them they have to write a warrant.
Yeah.
And they have to submit it. And the next time we're gonna have a special town meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm just not inclined to do it just for that one bill.
She did ask to get on the next one, but we all forgot, so
No, she asked after we'd already
No.
posted it.
like months ago about this. And I got.
I don't remember ever hearing about it, but maybe I'm crazy.
Well, that's a separate issue.
It is, you're right.
Any other questions, anything?
I do. 2 meetings ago, was it you who said that you would carry a water sample to Amherst?
It was.
Did that happen?
No, nobody ever gave me a water sample.
From here,
Yeah.
Well, what you've gotta do is you've gotta get the sanitary kit from there and bring it back. I haven't done anything.
well, I went and bought the bleach, I dropped it off at Allen, I don't know where it's gone from there, so.
Don't you have to sample the water before you bleach it, or
No.
you bleach it first?
Bleach it first, I called
Don't
Dan,
bleach the water, you bleach that.
no, he bleached the well, I called Dan Henshaw at Henshaw Well. And you buy disinfecting bleach, not laundry bleach, and you pour it in the well. Let it sit for a day, you run the faucet till you get a sample of the bleach out the faucet, then you let it sit for another day. It kills all the bacteria,
Yeah.
then you let it run. The trouble here is it doesn't take stuff out.
I heard that that's not the only thing that has to happen. You have to kind of actually dredge out the spring too.
Yes, and
Well,
no.
I'm not willing to, I don't wanna become an expert in any other, infrastructure technical.
No, I
issue,
get it,
but
I get
don't
it.
know.
That's getting bleach.
I'm happy to be the transportation.
Fine.
But I called Dan, and this is what he does for a living, and. He said the first thing you do is bleach, like when they put a well pump in my house,
Sure.
You take-
Wait.
it's all the same.
Time out.
You got to,
It doesn't really matter if I understand how it happens or not. How do we make it happen?
that I don't know, I'll have to call Ellen and see if she was gonna get a hold of Jack, cause she doesn't know where the well, the cover is for the spring. Cause there's two of them,
All roads lead to Peter LaPointe, he's the chair of buildings committee. And you're not gonna get much of his bandwidth these days.
but
because
Jack is involved with it some too, conservation, he knows a little bit about it, so. Maybe I'll have to email Jack and see if we can get it done. I've been working on it as best I can, it's the time I got, so.
Heard some information from Peter that might be helpful for you too, in figuring all this out. And that is that the spring is on our neighbor's property here. I don't know who she is. But, and the town has a right of way to the spring.
Right.
Right,
We don't actually own the property.
we knew that.
Yeah, and Peter seems to think that there's nowhere on this property where a well can be
No.
drilled. So I did not know that. That means that, you know, we have no option but to fix the spring. At one point, that property owner had offered to pay to put a well in.
Well, I've heard talk about them donating it to the town.
Yeah, in exchange for the right of way being taken off so that she could have horses, but that never. That was another select board and it happened, and so. There's
In
some
order to
history
fix
there.
that,
to think
somebody
about.
has to have a true will to make it happen.
Right.
I'm having difficulty understanding why we talk about it a little. At
Good.
least once a month, sometimes twice a month,
Cause the people that.
and nothing.
The head of the bars that are responsible don't follow through.
Well, and I would say that, you know, for instance, it was Ellen that brought us to our attention that the water has to be tested all the time, but okay, you're the board of health, test the water. That's my feeling.
Cause it could be fine right now. It's been, what, almost,
I think it's been a year.
yeah, it could be fine, who knows?
I had talked to Ellen in the summer. She said she was gonna test it, because I had said the same thing, it maybe it's.
I think that's a board of health responsibility.
So at this point, could a test kit from Amherst be
I thought they
acquired
were in Hatfield or Wayne.
Sure.
Yeah,
and someone do it?
oh yeah,
And then we know
where we stand.
for sure whether we gotta do something with the spring, or not.
Right. The problem is nobody takes ownership of the town offices. There are certain pieces of it that belong to different people. And I think we need to simply, have what I would call an assemble the liars meeting. Get all the potential committees that have a stake in this, the buildings committee, the Board of Health
Well, let's get it on the next agenda.
and,
All here.
and put them in the room and say, all right, who's gonna take responsibility for this? It is a Board of Health issue. It's a
Can we
building.
put it on the agenda and have them?
Yeah,
people
buildings,
here?
all
And,
conservation
and
and,
can our stance be,
One of you has to do it.
no, can our stance be? There seems to be a feeling that it could be clear, that we don't have to do anything.
Right.
So all we need to do is do a test. Once the test is done, if we discover that the spring is
still
still
a
bad,
problem.
then we start making steps.
And be mindful of the fact that the ground is gonna freeze
Exactly,
real fast.
exactly.
If it hasn't already.
no, it ain't frozen yet.
It's not frozen yet. Can we get that on the next?
Yes,
next
get that on
Yeah. So the Board of Health.
buildings and conservation.
Conservation.
And who's gonna contact them, let them know they should be there?
I can reach out,
Send an email to all,
meeting the week of Thanksgiving.
yes,
Oh, yeah,
that's, it's a Tuesday,
All right.
Thanksgiving's Thursday.
got it.
Unless you're flying away to somewhere, and if you are, have fun.
Aren't you
Have fun
ready?
waiting
Hi,
No.
airport.
I'm ordering my prime rib next week and
I already told you guys, I'm a homebody. I can go to Florida now.
should go check it out sometime. Beautiful.
All right, I move we adjourn this meeting.
Second one, third.
All in favor?
I.
Aye.